Hey, I'm Jesse Broadwater.
And I'm Chelsea with the Pink Arrow Project.
Join together with us and other passionate archers from all around the globe
in the Taking Aim at Cancer Challenge 2018 to defeat cancer in my lifetime.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Poole with Bowjunky Media. I'm here with Darren Christianberry. We are at the ASA in Augusta, Georgia. Let's take a moment and look at the participants and our Open Pro Shootdown.
Levi Morgan, Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Danny Evans, Monticello, Illinois.
Dan McCarthy, Wisconsin.
Hey everybody, Greg Poole here at Bowjunky Media, bowjunkymedia.com. We're at the 2018 ASA in Augusta, Georgia. Here with esteemed colleague, Elite Pro Staff Manager Darren Christianberry. We are trying to recuperate emotionally from the previous Senior Pro Shootdown, but here we go. It's time for the Open Pros. What do we got for scores out there, Darren?
We got Mr. Levi Morgan in the lead, 436 with 20 bonus rings. Danny Evans is in second with a 432 and 17 bonus rings. Danny McCarthy, 424 with 16. Tim Boykin at 419 with 14 rings. And Jason Bennett's in fifth with a 418 and 12 bonus rings.
All right, here we go. So the wind has died down. Everybody's got umbrellas out there for the wind, but it literally just died. So going to be interesting to see what Levi Morgan does here. He was up there talking to Danny McCarthy, and Justin Hanna came over, and Levi said, I'm not shooting for 14s.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he has to.
Right. Unless he's forced
Levi's
by Danny Evans.
Levi's confident. He's comfortable. He's got a decent lead over Danny Evans. He hits a 2 or 3 bonus rings. We'll see what happens.
10 for Levi Morgan right off the bat. Danny Evans in second place with an 8.
That will help Levi.
No, that's going to be the wrong direction and not the kind of not what you want to give Levi.
I heard some cheers. What did McCarthy do?
Oh, here we go. He's got a high arrow on that turkey.
On the hardest target out there.
Of course, it's Danny McCarthy. And they're taking an eyeball at it. They're taking a pretty good peeker. Ooh.
They're really looking at it.
They are too. Well, there's a lot on the line here, and
a lot.
I mean, I know a lot of people are just like, hurry up, but I'll tell you something right now. There's a lot of money on the line, so I would want them taking as long as they needed to be comfortable with the call. And Danny McCarthy says 14 for Dan McCarthy.
Levi did not want to hear that, I'm
yeah,
sure.
Look at Dan McCarthy go right out of the box with the toughest target on the range. Danny is just so laid back about that kind of stuff. It's unreal. 12 for Tim Boykin. Look at Tim come out of the box.
Wow.
Dan McCarthy's, yeah.
How many times have I said he hits him when he has to?
Every. Here we go. 10 for Jason. All right, let's go to the PSC leaderboard and see how that 14 helped out Dan McCarthy. All right, Darren, here we go. This is arrow number 2 in the Open Pro here at the Augusta ASA. This weekend's coverage brought to you by AAE. Right out of the box, Dan McCarthy makes a move.
I have a feeling it's going to force Levi to shoot at the 14 on this bore. He did not shoot at the 14. I thought he would.
And on the, looks like Jason Bennett barely caught foam on that target down there.
He's got a big smile on his face like, whoops, that wasn't the right number.
Yeah, there we go. Tim Boykin on the long one. Dan McCarthy still at full draw.
What's he going to do on this
coyote? Of
coyote?
course, we can't really see him there because, he lets down. He's got 30 seconds left.
Plenty of time.
Yep, 30 seconds left for Dan McCarthy, who lets down.
He may have been aiming at that 14, seeing how steady he could hold.
I don't understand why he has Andy Callaway on that side. Andy
either.
Callaway needs to get on the other side.
The wind's definitely hitting right on the end of the umbrella.
Yeah, he needs to get on the other side of Dan and block the wind from his bow. 10 seconds. Oh, there he goes. Dan
feels different up
Dan
there.
shoots with 9 seconds left. So here we go. Tim Boykins with a 5 on the deer. Here we go. Dan McCarthy on the Yodi. Dan McCarthy, 8. Oh, not what Dan McCarthy was looking for down there.
I'm sure Levi's
A little bit relieved.
breathing a little easier with him going backwards on one of them.
Yes. 10. 10 for Levi Morgan.
Was that for Danny?
That was for Danny Evans, yes. Here we go. Levi Morgan on with a 12
for Levi.
So Levi hits the bonus ring when he's got to get it.
That'll help his cause.
Absolutely. Here we go. Jason Bennett, as y'all can see right there on the screen. That's not a lot of foam hanging. 5 for Jason Bennett. Let's go to the PSC leaderboard. All right, here we go. Darren, this is arrow number 3 in the Open Pro here at the ASA in Augusta, Georgia. This weekend's coverage brought to you by AAE. Levi Morgan just pretty much doing what he needs to do to get where he needs to get.
Yep. Keep it in the 10 ring, clip a couple bonus rings, don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the pre-cap show. You know, Levi's not tripping about the shooter of the year thing. He just says, look, you got to win one shoot at a time to get there.
Yep.
You got to win one day at a time, one shoot at a time. And until I start doing that, why even bother?
Right, and his shot's going nice and smooth. He's the first one to get his arrow off there. He's doing everything he needs to do so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan McCarthy. Looks like Dan has a left arrow down there. All right, let's see what we got. Tim Boykin on the deer by the water. Looks like he's got a little bit of a high right arrow down there. You know what that means. Good to see Tim make a shoot down in the pro class.
Yeah, and go for it.
Absolutely. No fear. An 8 for Tim Boykin. Got another little bit of a high left arrow here for Jason Bennett too, trying to
that one looks good naked eye.
They pulled it quick. 14 for Jason Bennett. Good for Jason. He seemed to handle that 5 high pretty well. He was laughing about it.
He just leapfrogged Tim to move up into the top 4.
He did. Here we go. 8 for Levi Morgan. Levi's shaking his head. Doesn't look necessarily too happy about that one. Be curious to see what Levi has to say. 8 for Danny Evans. We actually have Levi mic'd up right now, so I'm curious to hear.
I'm surprised to see this many 8s. I mean, I know they're judging. They don't know, but
8 for Dan McCarthy. That is a lot of 8s. Wow. This has kind of been an anticlimactic shoot down. Let's go to the PSC leaderboard and see how it's shaking out. All right, Darren, here we go. Arrow number 4 in the Open Pro here at the ASA in Augusta, Georgia. This weekend's coverage brought to you by AAE. We're here with Elite Pro Staff Manager Darren Christianberry. The weather's nice. We hear the water splashing behind us.
Beautiful.
Things are going incredibly well. This shoot down has been not what we were expecting.
No, and Levi did make a mistake, but to his benefit, everybody else is making mistakes too. So.
Right. Dan McCarthy came right out the bat with a 14, but hasn't been able to follow that up.
No, he's calling for upper 12 on the deer over there, and I'm pretty sure that means he's not going to let off the gas.
Yeah, that looks like Dan McCarthy has a very high right arrow down there, which is
he called
not
upper
12-ish. 10 for Dan Evans.
468 for Dan Evans.
So here we go. 10 for Levi Morgan. You think Levi's just on cruise control here, Darren?
Yeah, he's
especially with Dan shooting back-to-back 8s.
Danny has to go crazy here.
Jason with back-to-back 14s. Look at the young man coming through, Darren.
Awesome. Puts him at 461.
Tim Boykin on the boar with an 8. All right, well, here it comes. Let's see if some rubber meets the road for Dan down here. Looks like he went for the 14. Uh-oh, he's putting on the spectacles. This is kind of over that little hump that you can see right there, folks. So for us, we can't really see a whole lot of it. So we can barely see the arrow from our vantage point. The camera's actually out in front, so hopefully the camera up on the target itself is going to give us a little better perspective. Don's shifting. 14 for Dan McCarthy. So Dan goes 14, 8, 8, 14. That's not exactly the way to rack them up, but it'll still get them done. Let's go to the PSC leaderboard and check it out. All right, Darren, here we go. This is arrow number 5 in the Men's Open Pro here at the Augusta ASA. Had some pretty interesting moves so far, but Levi's still maintaining a pretty stout lead.
Yeah, Levi has gained, moved his lead to 8 points. Danny McCarthy has caught Danny Evans, tied for second, but Danny McCarthy is also on the shortest target of the shoot down right now, and I fully anticipate him shooting and hitting the 14 on his Russian.
No doubt. And Levi's just going to get this thing down to the longest target. He's probably just going to be shooting center 10 at it.
He got a good 10 just straight above the 12,
yep.
It looks like.
Looks like exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see what Danny does here. Looks like Dan went for another 14, so that's going to be, you know what's going to happen? He's going to hit all these 14s, and he's going to be not stoked about the 2 8s because without those, he could have made a real move.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Here we go, Dan Evans.
Levi only made one mistake.
Yep. 14 for Dan Evans. Good for Danny.
That moves him to a 482.
Here we go, Dan, the 14 machine McCarthy. 14 for Dan
McCarthy. That
McCarthy.
moves him to a 482.
Yeah, those 8s are going to bother him even more.
Levi's got to be scratching his head going, what are these guys doing?
Right. Levi's probably like, we just hurry up and end this. Are we done yet? 5 for Tim Boykin, still going for it.
He'll end up with a 457.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go. And a 5 for Jason Bennett. Jason's either 5 or 14.
He'll finish his day at 466. That'll put Tim in 5th and Jason in.
Here we go. Levi Morgan with a 10. So let's go to the PSC leaderboard and see how Danny McCarthy's 14s are making up some ground. All right, everybody, here we go. Greg Poole here with Bowjunky Media, here with Elite Pro Staff Manager Darren Christianberry. The Open Pro Shootdown has been exciting and perplexing all at the same time.
For sure, and Danny Evans came in second. He's tied for second with McCarthy now, since McCarthy went 14 crazy. But with McCarthy hitting the 14s, he has more bonus rings now than Mr. Danny Evans, so Danny has to shoot first. So he can put the pressure on everybody. He can set the course right now.
And what do you think going through Levi Morgan's head?
He's hoping they don't hit a 14, then he can shoot center 10 and win this thing. But you know, Levi's got a 4-point lead over both of them. If they happen to 14 it, Levi can still shoot a 10 and go to a 7th arrow.
I'm still perplexed on the arrow, on the umbrella method here. One, there's no wind right now.
Yeah.
Number two,
It's on the wrong side.
it's on the wrong side.
Yeah, but it's calm right now.
Oh yeah, it's dead. The leaves aren't even moving.
He's
Oh,
got to
that's
be
down.
shooting at the 14.
Let's down. He's got 30 seconds left.
He's got a podium sewn up. Worst he
Yes.
can do is third.
Yep,
He's
there
in
you go.
third right now, so shoot at that little bitty ring.
Yep, so Tim Boykin ended in 5th and Jason Bennett in 4th. So
Mhm.
really nothing for Dan Evans to lose here. He's
No.
down to 15 seconds.
Go for the 14.
Looks like he went for the 14. Just looks like it might be a little bit left or a little bit low. What do you think?
I think it's an 8 low right of the 14.
8
8.
for Dan Evans.
That puts him at a 490.
And so here we go. We got Dan McCarthy up here who only needs an 8 to tie Dan Evans.
Same scenario for McCarthy. Worst
So-
he can do is third.
Right. So does he protect second, or
No.
does he try to pressure?
No, he does not. No, he does not.
I appreciate all the thought and consideration you put into that answer.
No, he's not here for second. He's not here for third. He's here to win. He usually hits him when he has to. This is a tiny, tiny 14, and it's not super easy to see. But if anybody can hit it, McCarthy can.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, Darren. Well played. Yeah, and you're right. If Levi Morgan was the one shooting now and Danny was over there, it'd be the same.
I know what he'd do. Yeah.
It's like I'm putting pressure on him. It's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, and then we're back to if he does 14, it Levi has to shoot a 10 to force another arrow.
Right. Or a 12 to win it.
12 to win it.
So here we go. So if Danny doesn't hit it and gets an 8 or a 5, it's pretty much going to be a wrap
Levi's
for
going to
Levi.
shoot center of the 8 ring and win this thing.
Dan McCarthy with lots of time on the clock. And that looks a little bit low there. I'm not sure if you can hear the crowd oohing and awing. Not. You could probably hear the crowd there, folks. And an 8. An 8 for Dan
490.
McCarthy.
So Levi needs a 5 to win this tournament.
Yeah, he definitely. Dan definitely wasn't conceding anything there.
No,
he definitely went
he
for it.
about hit it, but that's a super tiny 14. It's
So-
not the same as the others.
So do you think that that's a yardage thing, or do you think that that's a? So I think Levi's putting on a little bit of a show out there, but I'm pretty sure we know what he's going to do.
I don't know what he's looking at. He just needs a 5 to win. And I don't think he needs to show anybody he can hit that little 14.
No, he doesn't need to shoot left-handed. He
No.
doesn't need to do any.
You 12
anything.
this, 12 this, and cash the checks.
Yeah, I mean, what does he need to win here?
He needs a 5 to win.
That's what I'm saying. You just shoot for the center.
Put it in the center of the core and make
Yep.
the best shot you can make.
There you go. So at least the umbrella guy's on the right side this time.
Yeah.
A little bit of wind there coming from our side. There you go. So it looks like Levi Morgan's going to put a little bit of a statement there,
Yep.
and that's going to
With
be
a
12 for Levi
Awesome.
Morgan.
Congrats,
Levi Morgan's
Levi.
going to be your 2018 ASA Augusta Open Pro champion. We're at the ASA in Augusta, Georgia. This is the Open Pro shot of the shoot down.
Would be Danny McCarthy's 8s. It was multiple shots. Danny hit 3 14s and 2 8s. Without those 8s, it may have been a totally different outcome.
Absolutely. He hit those 14s. You could see Levi Morgan just trying to manage. Levi wasn't getting super aggressive, but the shot of the shoot down has to be Danny's 8s, because if he's able to get bonus rings on those 2 8s, that forces Levi to do something else. That was it. All right, everybody. Greg Poole here, Bowjunky Media, with your 2018 Augusta ASA Open Pro champion. It's Levi Morgan.
Yep.
All right, talk to me.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy. It feels like my first win all over again. Dude, I mean, these guys, Danny coming out shooting the 14 on the turkey, I swore he didn't mean to do it, but he tells me he did, which is incredible. Hits 3 14s. They never make it easy, but I played super smart. Got caught by the wind one time on the turkey and hit left, but I just stuck to my game plan, which I haven't done in a while, and it feels good for it to pay off. So.
Absolutely. So we talked about it a little bit earlier on the precast. Me and Darren, you and I talked about it in your interview. Shooter of the year. I know it's not something that you are like obsessed with right now. Your statement of, hey, look, I got to win an event first, because you only get shooter of the year by winning event after event. So tell us what this does for your confidence moving forward.
It's huge. I mean, I knew I'd been shooting well and just couldn't get around to come together. And so I went home and really practiced on managing a course, which is how I used to win all of the tournaments. I felt like I outsmarted people. So rather than relying off just pure aggressiveness, so that's what I did. And I came here not thinking about shooter of the year, but I gained a lot of points on it. And so obviously just going to try to repeat what I did this weekend for the rest of the year, and thank the good Lord for the opportunity.
All right, man. Great job.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.